all, guys, how's it going? My name is Al, and recently the Dragonflight patch 10.05 has finally went live, featuring many alt-friendly improvements like tier set catch-up system of the revival catalyst, as well as new open world activities full of new gearing opportunities. This update also features a ton of class changes, with most adjustments focused on improving the underrepresented classes, with many individual playstyles seeing damage buffs, new defensive bonuses, and in some cases talent tree overhauls to help increase their endgame viability. In today's video, I want to highlight some of these classes, specifically those that see the biggest improvements in content like Mythic Plus dungeons. These are the playstyles that found themselves less than popular for Mythic Plus during Dragonflight's initial launch, but have seen themselves slowly rising in popularity since the official drop of the patch 10.05. But right before we get into this list of classes, most of you guys watching these videos are still not subscribed. However, the more of you remind, the more of you do. So let's keep it going. Subscribe to the channel as well as hit the bell if you're watching these videos anyway, especially if you're looking to get regular class and content updates for all the future Dragonflight builds. The first spec seeing improvements in the Mythic dungeon environment is the Healing Discipline Priest. Discipline is a powerful healing spec with a bit of a learning curve, specializing in both offensive and defensive spell weaving while protecting their allies with powerful shielding effects. Discipline generally performs well when they have prior knowledge of the combat encounter, though they often find themselves falling behind when dealing with the unexpected, which you'll often run into when pugging in Mythic dungeons. In patch 10.05, Discipline was among the handful of playstyles which received major revamps to their talent tree, which has greatly improved their dungeon performance. The buffs to healing effects like Flash Heal, Renewal, and Power Word Radiance, together with the increase to the passive Sins of Many, helps them mitigate many unexpected dungeon disasters, which makes it feel a lot more reliable and adaptable. Discipline priests often struggle managing their primary resource of mana, as they are tasked with casting many mana-hungry spells in quick succession. Power Word Solace has received substantial buffs in patch 10.05, capable of delivering respectable instant holy damage while replenishing your mana pool simultaneously. Solace has become a lot more interconnected with the rest of your talent tree, which helps empower many of your underused talents. Talents like Void Summoner interact with your Power Word Solace, which helps reduce the cooldown of Mindbender. Mindbender is a summonable Voidling pet which helps you out in combat, capable of replenishing your mana whenever they strike your target. Mindbender's damage helps heal your allies through the passive of Atonement, which improves your overall consistency, with the Discipline Priest capable of calling forth this Voidling companion roughly every 30 seconds, which overall improves your dungeon performance. The next spec that saw improvements in patch 10.05 is the Arms Warrior. Unlike its more popular counterpart, the Spec of Fury, Arms Warriors found themselves struggling when it comes to basic survivability. While Fury Warrior is able to passively replenish their health in combat, Arms Warriors use defensive cooldowns to find some recovery, but are often left relying on their healers to survive most deadly encounters. Arms is another playstyle which saw the talents adjusted in patch 10.05, where we see the return of Ignore Pain. Similar to the tank counterpart of Protection Warrior, Ignore Pain helps offset a large portion of incoming damage into an absorption effect, which helps mitigate damage in high-stress encounters. Patch 10.05 also greatly amplified the AoE output of Arms Warriors, with increases to Thunderclap, Blade Storm, Cleave, and Whirlwind, which has made them incredibly potent for Mythic Plus dungeons. The next spec seeing improvements is the Brewmaster Monk. While most tanks have felt relatively durable during the development of Dragonflight, Brewmaster managed to stand out from the crowd. Brew monks in comparison were fragile and less played optimally. This required an in-depth knowledge of the playstyle and some group coordination in order to see them shine in Mythic Plus content. Brewmasters made up for the relative flimsiness with intense damage output, capable of overshadowing most other tank specs with ease as long as they can survive the boss encounter. So far, Dragonflight has favored durability when it comes to picking tanks in Mythic Plus dungeons, with most Brewmasters finding themselves caught slightly off guard. Patch 10.05 has improved the Brewmaster talent tree by reducing the talent point cost of a number of defensive options, which greatly impacts your overall durability. A newly added passive talent of Spirit of the Ox causes your offensive damage strikes to summon healing spheres, which greatly improves your personal recovery options. With these defensive improvements, moving Brewmasters a lot closer to the rest of the tanking specs when it comes to overall survivability. The next spec which found itself on the sidelines of popularity is the Restoration Shaman. Restoration Shaman is an incredibly fun healer, which supports their allies with a myriad of helpful totems, capable of controlling groups of enemies with rooting effects, group-wide stuns, and even knocking dangerous threats away from their allies. The Restoration found itself behind every other healer at the start of this expansion when it comes to their overall performance, and has received buffs after buffs to help them narrow the wide healer gap when it comes to endgame content. In patch 10.05, Restoration Shaman has received yet another batch of tuning buffs, which has bolstered their support spells like Healing Surge and Healing Wave, and also amplified their damage output as well. Talents like Acid Rain saw a massive damage buff, which greatly increases their spread damage when using Healing Rain. Flame Shock and Lava Burst both saw an increase of 20%. With the talent of Master of the Elements, saw its effectiveness also increased, empowering your next healing or damaging spell by 20 as well. Overall, this results in high amounts of AoE damage output, where healer shamans are sometimes capable of competing with the rest of their party, depending on the encounter. Many healers are expected to contribute as much damage as possible in dungeon content, as long as it doesn't interrupt healing of your allies. These recent buffs to Restoration Shaman's damage kit could help him establish a more favorable position when it comes to Mythic dungeon endgame content. Next, we see even more improvements for the spec of Shadow Priest. Shadow Priests have slowly seen a rise in popularity over the last few weeks, as the spec continues to receive damage buffs to help bring them in line with some of the other top competitors. Patch 10.05 continues to make further adjustments for greatly improving Priest's cleave capabilities. The talent of Psychic Link has been expanded, and will now include single target spells like Mind Games, Void Torrent, and Void Bolt as part of its passive cleaving effect. Shadow Priest has a natural affinity for single target encounters, where the spec gains greater damage output against targets suffering all three of their main periodic effects. Keeping all three dots against multiple targets is practically impossible, which means you lose some of your potential value when fighting multiple targets. Psychic Link allows certain spells to cleave to targets infected by Vampiric Embrace, which is easy to spread using talents like Shadow Crash. This change to Psychic Link allows Shadow Priest to prioritize single target talents, which effectively bolsters your group-wide damage, resulting in extremely competitive output, which plays more naturally into your overarching playstyle. And for now, that's going to be the full list of classes that have seen some of the biggest improvements for Mythic Plus content in the patch 10.05. I want to thank you all so much for watching this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. As per usual, if you guys enjoyed this video or found it informative, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. I would very much appreciate it. And as always, in the description of every single live stream and video, we have a link to our Discord community channel. Probably the best place to reach out to me directly in case you want to let me know what you thought about this video, or discuss with the other members of the community what you think about the upcoming changes. Join our Discord to become part of the community. But otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching. I do hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts, and as always, I'll see all of you guys in another video.